Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Another Wednesday stream as always here. We spent a lot of last session doing Drunk Claude. Doing like Sonnet 3.7. We tested Drunk Claude, Plot Doctor for scene planning, prose generation, and we all got some very good vibes. I think we all love Sonnet 3.7. A week on, how are you all finding it? Like, are you still enjoying it just as much as you did then? Hello, Cicely. How are you doing? I'm on my own here today, so I have to sort out the comment overlay at the same time. Um, I'm also still eating my snack, but that's all normal. So yeah, I think my plan today is obviously answer any questions you guys have. And there were some pretty valid points that Drunk Claude brought up in last week's session about my first chapter that I didn't have time to look at. And so I'm going to focus on that, I think, this session. Shouldn't be too big a fix. And then go into more of chapter two. That's my thought. Oh, hello, Chad. Happy Wednesday. How are all your writing projects doing? Like, what are you working on at the moment? How is it going? And opinions on Claude 3.7, of course. Um, I'm also so we're going to start like a mini series on Saturdays looking at prompting. So, if there's any questions you have as well, like letting me know in advance so I can start planning out the series would be great. Ah, money. Yeah, that is that. Yeah, I mean, I used Sonnet 3.5 anyway, so the fact that they were the same price made it a very easy transition for me, but it is quite spenny. So, especially compared to some of the open source models out there, uh, or the Mistral family, or anything really. Move on to headphones. Okay, right. So, um, I always get confused between the Novelcrafter and the Notion logos. I don't know why it still happens. I mean, it just does. Um, Move this around. Okay, you've been revising the pacing on some arcs and subplots and integrating a new and essential character into the story. So the draft's almost done. Oh my god, that is exciting. Like, adding a character into a story is hard. Like, I'm currently doing that with this. And, like, you've suddenly got to consider an awful lot of stuff and it changes everything. So that is really good. Well done. How are you finding it? Do you feel like a lot more confident with your story now that you've got everything kind of sorted? Right. West End. Hmm. So this was the chat. And then I'll open up my chapter. Matter of days. Okay. Yes, it's really coming together, and the various AIs that I asked to examine the plot for weaknesses have started to gush. Oh, that is always nice when like your AI is suddenly like, yeah, no, you're doing good, girl. And when they agree on stuff as well, like so often they don't agree on stuff, and then you're like, okay, fine, I'll have to like analyze it, and then no, amazing when it like all cooperates and everything is there. Okay, so from what I remember, yeah, so it's this bit here around 2/3 in, Anna, exposition. Okay. Mm, you make some super valid points. Can we change the dialogue with Anna to same points without clunky like this. Okay. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Can you give me some tips for focusing on only a few characters, but still giving the community vibe? So, like, some things I like to do with writing is, and AI, is just like rather than getting it to solve it, just like ask how are you meant to fix these things. Like, think of AI as a Google search that you have to answer, like ask in full English. Um, okay, I'll sort out the other stuff after, but let's go for just those two. Okay, Cicely says, I'm brutal with them when I do that, and I demand that they criticize because I know they can be quite, yeah. AI is so likely to give you positive bias. I So this is why the Claude prompt doesn't give any like like any codex context, because otherwise if you included your codex it would just tick everything off against that, whereas you're wanting to see how they're actually portrayed. Okay, let's move to this bit. Leave the past behind you. This further. Ingot. Hear the gentleman whine. This trustee will surely lead to more decline. Okay. Okay, this is really good, like, dialogue. I'm like, oh, God, why couldn't you have given me this before, Sonnet? Right. Right. Okay, wanna be. Okay, I actually do really like this. Behind you. Okay, see what I did there? I showed the. Okay, focus on spatial groupings rather than individuals. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at this. You said you Oh, so I it depends on what I do. So I still use 3.5 when I do any text replacement prompts because I find that it gives a more concise answer, which is what I want when I'm just wanting to change a small thing about text. But no, I use 3.7 with most of my other stuff at the moment. But yeah, I I stay with everything. Um, with 3.7, I've been trying out since. Um, um, oh my god, I'm real. You know when it's frustrating when it's so good. In the time, does anyone have any questions? Um, turn the volume down. Okay. Why does it? Okay, I need to open this codex entry. They are a married couple because it insists on making them brothers. Um, the other is a cat and fairy lights. Okay. Um, I will get to heaven. Why not raise a little hell? Okay, we've got the mention of her sister. Hello, Karen. How are you doing? 15 minutes. All you've seen is me stare at my work and be like, what is going on? So I'm kind of trying to get 3.7 is really doing some good stuff. with the spanner shaped regret. No way to heaven, why not raise a little hell? Why I'll see heaven. Okay. Oh my god, right. Okay, we've got this. Okay. Get rid of that. So what exploded on you this time? It's quite trying to... Damn spanner caught me when the lights went out. Was this supposed... The lag between the chat and when it appears on screen today seems... So that is because normally I have Corey who, when he sees you comment, he'll put them up on screen. Whereas I've got to do that myself today. So it needs me to be paying attention to a different screen to what I'm looking at. So Corey's normally like really on top of it, and then like he'll put them back up if I'm talking about the comment. But yeah, no, that's not a stream delay. That's a Kate delay of how much. So if I'm looking straight ahead, I'm looking at my writing. If I'm looking to the side, I'm looking at the screen that has y'all on. So yeah. You're gone in a hurry. Okay, got some good advice for you guys. Um, Here, whatever you go with, just remember if it sounds like it would be something in a book rather than out of a human mouth, it probably needs reworking. I think that is a great quote that we need to look at. Freeze your brain. And that straw, get lost in the pain. Happiness comes when everything numbs. Okay. Claude 2025. I feel like that's some great wisdom for us all. Okay, what else needed to be... Re-go over the scene and see what else needs work. Here's... So you better start building some walls. Freeze your brain. Freeze your brain. Oh my god, it's going on forever. Forget in 6 weeks, they'll be back on the road with the voice in your head. Okay. Bathroom scene. Okay. No, that makes sense. Maybe shortening that bit. Actually what it is at the moment. Yeah, no, I like that. I'm gonna keep that as it was. So I don't always accept what AI suggests, but um that's so funny because that's something that this AI just wrote. And let's just boop. Ugh, um they're not brothers. I feel like this is just something I'm gonna be fighting the entire story. Um Okay, the song they sing, I'm torn on this. On the one hand, the lyrics they sing are a bit on the nose about class division. On the other hand, folk songs often are direct about socio-political commentary. Maybe keep it, but have someone make a comment of how it's gotten riskier to sing that one lately. Okay. Um. I'm gonna change. Quite. Don't accept everything just because it's AI doesn't mean it's right. Exactly. Like, it's like if you're working with a writing partner, like sometimes you've got to be like, dude, this is not what I wanted, or like how I envisioned it. Um, bum bum bum. Okay, so we want to have something where she, the band had launched. Um, okay, let's see. So we've got. Um, um, a wrapped up bottle. She lent in. Okay. So, what stage would you say this manuscript is at? It looks like you're polishing, so somewhere after the first or second draft. No, so what I'm doing is, also I have like, I don't know, I had like 14 chapters written. Okay, 11 chapters written. But because I'm making some big changes, what I want to do is get one chapter really polished so then I can use it for my style guide for future chapters. So getting this first scene kind of like really fixed means then that when I do follow my style prompts in later chapters, I can kind of bash them out a little bit quicker. So it's kind of like taking the time now to get that fixed, and then I move on to doing everything else. Like I probably won't look at everything in quite as much detail, but this is kind of how I generally approach my work. Like I want to get like if the opening is strong, then you know the stuff that follows after will be fine. And I do like really detailed. So I mean that's my scene summary for this scene, but like I split it into beats. But like I do things quite detailed. Um, I wanted to. Oh, I was looking at the Kira stuff, wasn't I? I think that was up here. Okay. So doing the. Um. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to steal that and use it, even though all my chapters are already written because I wanted to get the story together A to Z before adding more stuff in. Well, you can use it when editing as well. Like I bet you could write like an editing prompt that used your chapter as like a style guide, or you can use it as a guide for being like, you know, then that makes me think of a maths equation where you have like if A equals B, what does C equal? And then you do the moving around thing, but like with writing. But yeah, no, I think it's kind of it's just good to have that kind of fixed in your mind, and it means then that you know that you can get stuff like obviously you need to edit later on, but you don't have to edit quite as much, which does make a difference. Like it's nicer. Um, okay. Was front and center. Okay. Um, can you help me rewrite uh Boop, boop. Then help me. Okay, I want to select this, put it into a quote. This section to make the conversation flow more. Hello, Ivan. How are you doing? Naturally. But yeah, absolutely. You can use the technique to make the style more consistent across chapters. Yeah. Find more places where I can find Nova bees. Oh, wait. It's literally just quoted my stuff. Been like, oh, why don't you put something else? Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. Drains half the beer in one go. Wow, okay. Bum 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 in the sky. You know how I feel. Okay, do. Okay, I need to edit this, but it's better. When's the last time? New dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Announced, twirling arena away. Old world. Oh, fine, thank you. Even though I am not able to follow completely these classes of yours because of the difference in time in my work. However, I finished the building of the world and the major events. Oh, nice. No, that's really good. And, you know, these videos are all available on catch up and stuff. And, like, I try to answer questions and stuff when they come up. And, you know, you can always ask them in advance. But no, that is so cool that you finished the building of world events because it does make a big difference. Let me see. Do I have... Oh, new feature, go there. I want to collapse them all. I had at some point. Oh, I might have archived them now. Yeah. I had a timeline, which I used in my world building. Like, I don't need it now because I don't need to know about the actual how the Ice Age happened. I need to know about what they believe it. But yeah. it's really good to have that and just like fill things in, and yeah, and it grows up. It's a new life. Um, you are dancing. Okay. Next step is to build prompts in other languages, as you suggested in a previous class. I'll provide you with feedback on it. That would be amazing. I'm actually really curious if any of you don't have English as your first language and then you translate. Do you do it more in chat, or do you do like text replacement prompts? Like, what is easier for you to use? Because like obviously we can suggest things, but we it's very hard to then be like, no, this is the easiest way in practice, because we don't spend ages doing translations. And like, do you need like a lot of context, or can you get away with less? Like, what is the general vibe? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this paragraph. It can be said I'm an early bird. Um, okay. No, I like that. Oh, hey, Stephen, how are you doing? No, absolutely not too late. Like, it's too late if I'm saying goodbye at the time, but other than that, yeah, go ahead, ask your questions. Um, hopefully I will, like, if I don't notice immediately, don't worry, I will when I come back and check. Ivan says, I interviewed my characters in Italian and the result was really interesting. Okay. Okay, that's cool. I'm assuming that Italian is your, like, dominant language. Longer question, and maybe not directly. Wait, oh, don't worry, they don't have to be related to this session. This is like the office hours. You can come with any question whatsoever. Okay, so what do you think of the idea of having a World Anvil site as an accompaniment to the story/stories? Okay, let me just. Is this the map maker? Okay. I mean, I think if you were doing like a really like complicated fantasy novel, or like, something that was like Lord of the Rings esque, or even where there was journeying happening, like more than a city, I think having something like that would be really cool for fans. Even just providing like maps and stuff, like for people to see the different things, I think would be. I think kind of multimedia stories are, as we get more online, are really good. I think it's a good way of like portraying things and showing, like, appealing to the different senses. It's like when you have like the like when cinemas try out the different things. But no, I think that's it, it would be yeah, I think it would be cool. I've not got World Anvil myself. I'm just having a little look at it at the moment. Um But like, if you enjoy world building and stuff, then absolutely spend your time. Like, I used to do like loads of map making, and it was always really fun. Okay, so which models do you find work best with French? Be interesting to see. And then, like, because people are always asking like what LLM is best for which, and like, I mean, I know a bit of German and a bit of Polish, but not enough to be able to, like, more conversational, not enough to like analyze the actual quality. Um, it sounds okay. It sounds like a real interview. Okay, yeah, I guess if you gave the full story, a lot. Even if you gave access to the outline, that might provide valuable information. I have two main languages, Spanish and Italian, even though I'm able to write in English, but not yeah. So I guess, so would you be then translating from Spanish or Italian to English? I guess that would be your use case of the translate. Okay, I'm also thinking of having a sort of cutting room floor for scenes that are great and character building, but don't make it into the book. Yeah, I have. Um, okay, well, not here, but in like the stuff I write for my like actual books, like my pen name books, I have like a little gems snippet that anything that I really love, um, I I then can have and like refer back to. So I've got like little deleted scenes folder. And if I have a scene that I then delete, I often include them as bonus scenes. I think it's a great way of like still getting to use your work or make short stories out of them. Okay, one, do you modify your prompts to use voice sheets properly, or do most of the models just get it? Okay, so with voice sheets and like the prompts where it's going based on some writing you've already done, different models definitely relate in different ways. So like we have like Sonnet is top tier. Like it does it, it gets it. Um the GPT models are quite good. Or like they're all right. Gemini's better, I think. Gemini's probably better than GPT. I don't really try out many of the other models, but I think giving the examples is a really good way of keeping it going. And so I think a lot of the models, like the newer models, get it. Like it definitely, like if you look at where we are compared to this time last year, like what was it? Claude 3 was released last year, like today last year, like a year ago. Like, and if you think of how much things have changed since then, like it's insane. But yeah, um, and I guess yeah, with that like Ivan like translating to English, like it's also yeah, it's so much, I guess it's so much easier to write in English when you've got like the help of AI and it can kind of help get you a lot of the way. Um okay, Claude is very good in French. I mean, I would be surprised if Claude wasn't good at French given its name. I mean, you know, it feels like it should be good. Some fine tuned llamas are interesting. Some fine tuned Quen also. DeepSeek not very good. Okay, makes me wonder if DeepSeek would be really good at Chinese and like East Asian languages. If they've done more training on those languages. I mean, I don't know. That's my hypothesis. Um, Hi, Kat. How are you doing? Oh, nice to have you all here. Yeah, good. Everyone's talking loads. This is nice. I like it when we have a chatty stream. Kind of this is what it's meant to be. Like I've got my work that I'm doing bits on, but like the design of the stream is that you guys can ask questions and we can all just talk and share our thoughts live and just have a bit of fun. Um yeah. And I've just realized I've forgotten my drink. I mean, I say my drink, it's water that I boiled and then I'm now drinking as it's cooling down. This is something that like in my 30s I've suddenly started doing and it's like, oh god, I'm getting old. And I know I'm not actually, but it feels that way. It feels like I'm just enjoying a cozy drink of hot water. Mm. USA. I swore I would see for myself one day. What was I doing? Oh yeah. The streets called sidewalks there. Despair with skyline view, and even improbable dreams come true. Already talking the talk. Do I use Atticus for edit? So, um, I yes and no. Uh, so I released a book first doing just Word. and having like to do all the formatting myself, and there was images in the book and it was a nightmare. I mean, like, it was fine, it wasn't that bad. It was time consuming though, and just like slight effort. I have Atticus now. I got it last year, and I'm going to use it for this, for like the formatting, but I probably, well, I haven't, I've opened it up for formatting and like trying out different things and testing it, but I've not actually things in yet. Um, so I don't use it for editing, but I use it for like so like last class I was looking at the stages of editing, and so I use it for like typesetting, but I don't use it for any of the other bits of editing. I do that in Novelcrafter. However, I know that there is a share feature now, so I guess if you and someone else had it, you could like live edit and do comments and stuff. So it might be good if you have like an editor. Yeah. And then Cicely says perception of process. AI image gen to human editing versus AI writing to human input, controversy, etc. Okay, yeah. I think the issue with the AI image generation versus AI writing generation is that you the way that words are trained is different to images. Like, you don't, or like from what I understand, it's you don't train on an entire book. You train on fragments of sentences. And so it's not, whereas you can very easily get, paint in the style of insert artist. And there's that kind of like one-to-one correlation. It's harder to do that same thing with writing. That's I think that's generally kind of how like when we talk about it. It's yeah, I think like if you do like AI image generation to human editing, like if you do the same amount of editing as you do with like when you take stock images and stuff, I think there's a lot more like leeway there. If you took something AI and didn't do any editing, then it feels for me, I would feel a bit more iffy about it than taking writing. But like writing, you can tell it's, if it's bad, it's, or like not bad. If it's AI generated, you can tell it's AI generated. Um, but yeah, the best free model in French is Star Cannon Unleashed. Okay. And you can run it locally. Okay, guys, you heard that here first. Yeah. Thank you for your answer, Kate. Human Ed is still the best. If you're publishing traditionally, yes. I think if you have someone you gel with, and like you've got, and you can have editing. Like my husband like line edits my stuff for me. He gets paid in sweets. It's a very good deal for us both. That's just because I do the food shopping. But yeah, I think it's I think having another human look at it before publishing is very important. Like, even if it's a beta reader, like they notice when things, like if there's repetition and things, and or like things aren't quite right, a human can kind of get them. For line editing and stuff, you could probably use prompts, but you'd always want to check it over yourself, at least at this stage in AI development. I went self-publishing because a lot of the time, um, like even people who are traditionally published, you see them doing so much marketing of their stuff online, and like I was just kind of like I would rather like be able to take my own pace, learn the craft, get things. I'd have to do the same marketing stuff myself anyway, and that's the thing I hate, like, or not hate, but that's the thing I'm most uncomfortable with, kind of keeping up with marketing and communication. So yeah, I went self-published. So I've published on Amazon, and I've done some like online publishing as well, but I mean, being traditionally published would be cool, but like I have like a physical copy of my book, and that was what I wanted. Um, so yeah, hopefully that helps. I'll put boiler there. Up on Broadway and order a beer. Scream at the Statue of Liberty. Hey, lady, I'm walking home. Delilah Scan's. York. I'm already talking the talk in New York. Um, I mean, yes, there's definitely more royalties, but also Amazon takes so much. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's fine. Like, I guess they're hosting your thing, yada yada. And it's kind of like that organic traffic rather than having to constantly go through other things. But yeah. Um, yeah, traditional publishing I bet takes so long. Although you do get maybe more support with like editing and like covers and things like you get a bit more hand holding. But I think depending on what your genre is, a lot of genres, like especially romance books these days, they do really well online because people like having them on a Kindle or like an ebook reader and like rather than having like shelves full of them. And so they're less desired by or like there's different desire levels depending on what your niche is. And whereas like things like I guess you see like a lot of like thrillers or detective or things that are mainstream, you probably are still good going mainstream with that. Whereas there's it's kind of almost as if there's genres of book that do better in each. I think it would be a matter of looking at your genre and working out what fits, you know? Um yeah. Um might be better for some things. Where's my phone? I get news report like update bulletins, and then it's like, okay, yeah, that was not breaking news. Um, okay. When talking about Anna about the home of the free, the Liberty City where even the father wants to hang out with me. Home. There's snow in the city tomorrow, just see it come twinkling down. And that's why they all call it Tinsel Town. Hundreds of thousands of people just living the dream out there. There's love in the air. Yeah, human editors can teach a lot. And I think maybe getting like your first few done with humans, then it helps you improve and then you can keep going. P-I-C-I-A-C, I'm already talking. That's what am I doing? Before she decides to go upstairs. Um Oh, okay. So it was wanting that earlier. Oh, okay. And then we were wanting um um that doesn't necessarily give us more emotional payoff. Okay. She. Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think. I'm gonna re-drunk Claude it. Um. mm, what do I want to listen to? Um. Um. Drunk Claude bestie. Heard this the other day. Anyone can be a writer. An author is one who gets published. Thoughts? I mean, I guess it depends on what you define them as. Let's ask GPT-4o Mini. Daddy, daddy. Seriously. Okay, well, that's Kaiku then. If 4o Mini decides it doesn't want to. Okay. Claude seems to. I mean, I think like maybe you could say an author's someone who's been paid for their work. You could say it, but like to be honest, like there's no shame in like I call myself a writer rather than an author because I write. Like that's my focus. Um but like yeah, exactly. There's so many ways to get being published. If you write fan fiction and publish it on the internet, you are technically an author. Like we have all, I'm sure, done those cringy in our teens, hundreds of thousands of word fan fictions of niche fandoms. Um, but yeah, no, I feel like if even if like people who do it on Ream or like serials, if you even if you publish online for free, like that's still an author. Um, And like you can still be an author if you're like in the process of doing it, like of getting your first book out there. Because if you're a lawyer who is working, or like, you know, a barrister that's working on their first case and they've not yet been in the courtroom, they're still a barrister. They're not a different job title just because they've not actually done their first job, their first like case. So I think you can be an author if you're like, if you're aspiring to publish, then you're an author. Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely don't make enough money writing to justify, like, you know. But on the other hand, it's cool that people buy my book. People want to read them. That's cool. I like that. And I'm very fortunate enough that I don't have to rely on that as an income source. Um, but yeah, writer first and foremost, because it is writing what we love to do. Yeah. And now you don't have to have external validation to publish, which makes being an author a much more achievable goal. Like whether or not you sell is then a different thing because that's not about your writing, that's about your marketing skills. There's so many things. Like I feel like being an author requires a lot more than just writing. Like you've got to you an author is a marketer. They're an email copywriter. They are, a cover curator. They have to like be in contact with like people and things and stuff. There's like so much more effort. Um, if you're on Discord, you can DM me and I'll send you a link. I don't want to put my pen name out there just so I don't get AI hatred. But if you DM me, I will happily send a link. I'm currently working on rewriting my first book, and like while working on the second at the same time. Like the first one's published, but I'm doing a version 2. But yeah, if you DM me on Discord, I will send you a linky. And if I could reply to comments, I would give you a heart emoji right now. Okay, what was I doing? Habitat. Oh, oh my god, that sounds incredible. I kind of want to know now what the chickens are doing. Okay, yeah, that's also a valid point on it. No, I've not worked as a ghostwriter. Um I've done a lot of writing that is unpublished. Like I did a lot of writing in like the so my background is in STEM, so I've done a lot of STEM writing, um, and like nonfiction, and then I did fiction in my like free time, and then I've kind of transferred now to being able to do more of that. And throw me away, and how can you learn what's never shown? Yeah, you stand here on your own. Know me, 'cause I'm right here. Okay, I don't know what this is, but don't look at me like that. I care about practical home repairs and dystopian fiction. It's relatable content. Okay, darling. My god, how long is this response? Oh, 1,500 words. Come on, beautiful. They're the ones who stay the same. They don't know me, 'cause I'm not here. Okay. Okay. So it seems to get the thing. Man, break me as long as I know who I am. Right, pacing. Sorry about that. The pacing actually works pretty damn well for an opening scene. You start with immediate action, Delilah fixing something, getting shocked, dealing with power outage, or endless descriptions on ceiling tiles. The flow from the initial technical problem to the impromptu community celebration feels natural. Okay. Okay, so that's still an issue. I can look at that. Don't know if I necessarily need to look at that now for like the story purposes, but it's something worth considering. The pacing peaks are brilliant at the end. Slow burn anxiety. I can practically see the bags under her eyes and the grease on her hands. She feels lived in. Um, okay, they feel like real people with histories rather than cardboard cutouts. The most interesting character, ironically, is the one that's not there, Kira. The way Delilah thinks about sister gives us hints without spelling everything out. We understand that they have a close but sometimes strained relationship, that Kira is usually more outgoing and social than Delilah, and there's some unspoken tension about boundaries. That's good character development for someone who doesn't even appear in the scene. Dialogue-wise, I'm actually pretty impressed. No one's spouting exposition heavy nonsense either, which I appreciate after this fourth beer. Oh, that is a good point. I will. No, I didn't mean to do that. I usually do them in sections. And then I will color it red. Remove it from the AI. Remove it from the word count. Minimize. And I've got a nice little red boop here. So that's usually where I stash things. Dialogue-wise, pretty. Okay, a bit. If it feels intentional rather than sloppy, like giving him just enough to be intrigued, we're like, okay, that's fine. The blackout says both literal and metaphorical backdrop. Um, okay. Oh, that's very sweet. I like it when Claude is just like a little bit sweet. I really enjoyed the lived in quality of this world. Okay. That. Life is a road that I want to keep going. Oh my god. And if you kill Kira off screen after making me care about her through someone else's worry, I will personally find you and pour this lukewarm beer all over your keyboard. Got it? That is. I mean, that is something that I feel like I need to save. Um, Sonnet Beta, I believe. Probably Sonnet Beta. Yeah. Usually just 'cause that's a little bit better for like if there's anything like slightly dubious or like, you know, violent or I mean, that is just beautiful. I'm going to save that into a snippet. And now what I can do from this is go actions, copy scene prose, sample chapter, select, boop, and get rid of that section. Life is a road and I want to keep going. Okay, do we do some writing now? Oh my god, I've spent like an hour and 10 minutes. I mean, chatting, but also just staring at the same scene. I know that I did like some generation tests on here before. So okay, what other things do I want to address with this? Kira's lack of appearance is worrying Delilah throughout the scene. So I like having like my beats with the instructions and then things that I want to make sure that the AI remembers. That kept coming up. And also you'll find some things that you recognize always come up in like your prose and you're like, okay, I gotta sort this out. What do I want to listen to now? Okay. Sprinkle world building throughout. Okay, let's see how this does. Okay, I'm gonna edit my prompt actually a little bit. In a matter of days, 3,000 words might be enough. Okay. Just right. So I'm doing Sonnet 3.5, sorry, Sonnet 3.7 beta, no setting change, like it's just the default, like everything's blank. And get ready for your new best friend. Hear the gentleman whine. Mr. Steve will surely lead tomorrow to decline. Every broad will catch the bug and start to roam. Okay. I mean, I feel like I almost want that sentence to be the first sentence. Rations cause unspeakable sensations. Okay, I mean, I would make some of this a little bit less dramatic. No random topics. This is random topic central, like this is office hours. Tips for relationships. If we have entries for band, John, George, do you link them in both directions or can... So, it depends on how much the band is integral. Like, I would probably have band with John and George in it. Because then whenever the band is mentioned, you know the who's in it. I wouldn't necessarily have the band mentioned every time John is mentioned, because unless it's like Battle of the Bands where everything is like really integral, yeah, I mean, I feel like in that situation I would have just the band as band as the parents and John and George below it. And right. Just waiting for it to finish generating. I mean, I definitely like. Come on, we've got like 3,500 words. Like you never. Okay, yeah, thanks. My computer just suddenly went off when. Okay, well, I'm gonna. Okay, guys, so if this ever happens to you and you suddenly everything goes, I'm just gonna go. Boop, copy it. Uh, refresh Novelcrafter. Just double check. Okay, so it's all there still, so that's fine. But I copied it just in case. Uh, okay, so okay, interesting. So it did get a fair amount. How many words did it do? Wee. Get ready for your new best friend. Um. Okay, yeah, 3,500. So I'd probably have to cut stuff anyway. So, let's do a bit of kit bashing. Um. Hear the gentleman whine. Boop. And then I'm going to go down to here. Oh, I think I tried some different, yeah. Let me remove all these from the word count. Copy content. Boop. Okay, Phil says all crew members in my novel have a relationship with their ship, but not with each other. Otherwise, it can overwhelm the AI. Exactly. Like, I think, and also because nesting continues, like, it's not a. So if you had band and characters both related to each other, anytime you mention the character, it'll pull up the band, which will pull up the rest of the band. So it then kind of like it spirals out. Um, so say if I do I have any like really heavy. Okay, yeah. So I just typed in Nova Bezos, and you see here the AI will get 23 codex entries for context based on additional global entries and nested references. This could overwhelm the AI, and that's because I have all of these, but then each of these you go on and they have like relations to different things. I uh, so yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. So we've got 10 minutes. Oh, yes, nesting be treacherous. I ended up with a 50,000 word prompt without realizing what was happening. Yeah, it can get like it's powerful but dangerous. You have to treat it with respect. Okay. So there's 10 minutes left. If you have any last questions, like feel free to ask them while I start like just reading through this. Um, although hilarious. Um, eh. So I think what I'll do is I'll like edit this and cut out any bits, and then I'll go in and like kit bash. I'm quite new to these streams. So BTS is behind the scenes. So in it, I have like my AI-isms checklist, my different words. So if you go on the Notion document, I have like some of these here. And it's just anything that's like not story related necessarily, but it's like oh, it is, but it's not like the individual codexes. So I have like theme, my different guides and stuff. So not all of them are global. Like most of them, I just track. Yeah, that's what behind the scenes is. Yeah, if you, I think it all depends on what you need. Like, if you need the AI to know all of these related characters when and you need their information when the orchestra is mentioned, then yeah, go for it. But nesting is only necessary when you're doing when you need the AI to pull the information. Otherwise, it might just be better to have like um codex categories, like have your different sections of codex category as custom categories, different sections of your orchestra as custom categories, and then plop them in. Oh no, don't worry, Cicely. It's been lovely to have you here. I'll see you next week or Saturday. Bye. Um, okay. Although this just I saw that and that makes me immediately think of like some of the beginning, like where I was like of like the original stuff that I wrote. I'm like that feels very me. Could have skipped the last cup. Either do 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 da 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 da. So yeah, I'm seeing what Okay. Not even no, just cold flat. Should I just... I like that. It's hinting at the parents' disappearance again, but it's not like doing it. Spit cavernous. That is an AIism. Like, um, I think she's called boss, even if it's not like the boss. Um, better you than me. She's in rev. Um, okay, I'm not sure if that is. We'll have a look. Although it's definitely relating to the past chapter well. Uh, yeah, it's a custom category of others. Um, because I like to have them like easy to access. That's why it's like number one, so that numerical order. Um, yeah, these are all like there's a pro style guide, my genre, and different words I highlight. What's going on, babe? Do, 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 do. I like that. That feels like it's not info dumpy. It's just kind of like it's like just a natural complaint. So that feels okay. So much attitude. Oh, okay, Nova is a god now, apparently. Uh, See, this is interesting because it's not got her going like through the things. I like that. She'd memorized the manual specifically to find loopholes in procedure. Beautiful. Oh, okay. So yeah, she okay, now she's going in. Zora's getting antsy with all those films to fill out and no one to intimidate. Anyone with actual body fat would never make it through the passages. Okay, so Phil says, I'm new to AI assisted writing and I'm wondering if there are as many AIisms in other languages, in languages other than English. Um, I'm not sure. As the answer to that. I mean, hopefully people can let us know. I feel like probably not. Uh, then again, who knows? I think as you write in other languages, you'll get to know them. Like it's only it's only as you write more and more with AI that you start to notice the words that just keep coming up again and again and again and again. So yeah. But yeah, I think on that note, I am going to head off. Um, so yeah, I'll see you all on Saturday where we're going to do some prompting 101, like the kind of the most common prompt edits that people do. So yeah, I will see you then. Have a lovely week. Bye.